This is a repost. We repeat, this is not new content.
Yeah, but this part is new.
Frank? What is this? Who is this kid?
Frank's taking a nap.
Whatever. Enjoy this repost episode.
Yeah, melon farmers.
Welcome to the Living Artist Podcast. I'm your host, Preston M. Smith. Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Living Artist Podcast. I'm Preston M. Smith, at PMS Artwork everywhere on internet land and socials. I want to thank you for landing on this podcast. Whether you're a professional artist, just getting started in the art world, a collector of art, or just consider yourself a creative person, this podcast has something for you. I like to think of it as a fun way to rant and talk to other creative people about living the life of an artist, surviving and getting ahead in the art world, and enjoying your life. But most importantly, not waiting until you're dead to make it happen. All right, let's get started. Welcome and good morning to you. Okay, that was creepy. I had to put another one of the creepy laughs in there just for good measure, just to make sure you're paying attention, you know? You gotta make sure you're paying attention out here. So welcome back to the podcast. I thought I would hit you with something a little crazy to balance out the last mellow one. And yeah, just feeling that anyway. So I've been listening to a lot of David Bowie and some of his 90s stuff. And then I saw Moonage Daydream, which was just like an assault of the senses. If you haven't seen it, highly recommend it. Very artistic, not a biography, but definitely kind of an abstract, non-linear exploration into David Bowie. And it's really kind of an immersive experience. So I would highly recommend seeing it in the theater, but I just have some of these crazy melodies and stuff rolling around in my head. And I thought I would throw some stuff out there and see if it sticks. Hope everybody's doing well. Hope you're having a good week so far whenever you're listening to this. You're like, but it's Saturday. Well, if it is Saturday, happy Saturday to you. And if it's not Saturday, if it's a Monday, I hope you're getting your week off to a good start. And if it's Tuesday when this comes out, well, then aren't you swell listening to this when it first comes out? Right in the morning, waiting, setting your alarm for it. Hope everything's going well. Everything's going well here. I am just finishing out some work this morning and going to get a podcast out. So here goes nothing, everybody. And what are we going to talk about? Today, I don't know if you heard the yelling in the track or just looked at the title for this episode, but yes, it is called Protect Yo Energy, which my wife and I saw on a t-shirt in the Grove, I believe. We were having some tacos at Trejo's Tacos, and we saw some guy with his girlfriend or wife or whatever walking up there, and he had a shirt on that says Protect Yo Energy. And I was like, that's great. And it was kind of funny. It was a little joke, but it's actually very good, very true statement. It's something that you need to be vigilant about. And I think, especially as artists, especially as anybody who's putting yourself, I'll put creatives in there in general, whether you're a musician, a visual artist, an actor, you name it. Whatever you're doing in that realm, you are bearing a bit of your soul. You are putting yourself out there kind of to be judged by the public or for public consumption. And it can feel very naked. And when people kind of comment on you or do little shitty things, it almost hurts us even worse because you're putting yourself out there. You're being very brave. You're being very bold. And some of these kind of comments, not even horrible comments, like backhanded compliments and stuff like that, or little passive aggressive little hits that people get on you on Instagram or just in life in general, or things that we even maybe perceive that could be like that. Those can really disrupt your energy and your flow. And it can then, carry over into just disrupting your day, which disrupts your flow, your workflow, your flow in the studio, how you're putting yourself out there into the world. Maybe you become a little more timid when you put out your next piece online on social media or on an online marketplace, or the next time you talk in a gallery, maybe it makes you think a little bit like, well, I don't want to have what happened last time happen. So we're going to be talking about protecting yo energy. Can't get enough of it. I think that's going to be my new little segue soundbite. Probably not, but it's fun for this one. So I just wanted to start off by talking about just a few examples of things that can actually disrupt our energy and can kind of get under our skin as artists and start to eat away at our creative habits or make us create not at our top level, And one of those for me is, it sounds simple, but I'm really sensitive to sound and kind of obnoxious behavior. Like I have my studio in back and I have these neighbors next door who don't really care that much about anything, it seems like. And they bang and slam something up against the wall when I'm working. And the kids, when they're home, they play soccer and they kick the ball as hard as they can at the wall and like shakes the wall and it vibrates. And I can hear it over the headphones in my ears where I'm, drowning out the sound and trying to get into my flow state. So it just disrupts me. And that actually will short circuit my flow and my energy state. And sometimes I start to get like nervous or I start to get upset and it gets in the way of what I'm creating. Now, yes, you can turn that around and use a little bit of that and put it into the piece, but that's not always the state you want to be in. And, I have tried to surrender to it, but also you can take action and, try to bring it to their attention and whatnot. But anyway, that's just one example of something that can get in the way of your flow state or your energy. Another one is social media, of course. That's probably the big one. That can be as simple as just seeing another person that you know or that you feel is a kind of a contemporary of yours on the same level, doing really well, or, getting a big gig or selling all the time or something. And if you're not in the right state of mind, it can make you feel shitty. It can make you feel like, oh man, again, or like, why am I not doing this? Or why don't I have this gig or whatever? I've talked about that before, but you can name it with anything. It can be a comment on social media. It can be somebody saying like, oh, actually, this is really good. Or like, oh, I'm surprised. I really like this one, or something like that. Most times people don't say I was surprised, but they'll say something like, oh, I like this one. Or actually, this is really good. That is an example of a backhanded compliment. And sometimes that's just you reading into it, but it sounds very cold on social media. And that's why it's very important to protect your energy on social media, because we are very hypersensitive on social media, because you're kind of projecting your own mood onto the canvas that is social media. And you're also taking all of your internal garbage that you have with you from the week or the year or the pandemic or your lifetime, and it's kind of like coloring your experience on there. And then of course people can just be shitty. You get weird stuff, you get spam, you get hackers, you get all that stuff. So be very vigilant when you're on social media to protect your energy. And what's another one here? Maybe a better question is, what is not really something that you have to protect your energy with being an artist? It can come at you from all angles. It can be doubt from your family, doubt from your friends, doubt from society. It can be somebody taking advantage of you, because you're an artist and people are used to this starving artist stigma. I was just talking to Fenton Whelan about this, how sometimes people in certain areas will play that up and go like, well, would you want to put a piece up in our office building? We have a lot of good clientele that come through here. You can just put it up. And it's like, basically they're saying they want you to put a free piece up. And yes, of course, these things can lead to stuff, but you have to protect your energy when it comes to stuff like that too, because a lot of times people are just looking for a free lunch. And I mean, I've had people who've known me for 15 years as an artist, seen my struggle, seen me go from, making $18,000 a year, waiting tables and barely able to pay my rent and, getting in debt and being in a dark place to being where I am now. And the whole time saying, oh, we really want to buy a painting of yours and stuff like that. But then never pulling the trigger for whatever reason, or, the time's not right, money's not right. Sometimes they've asked me to trade things for, something that they have that they just started with. And it's like, well, hang on a second here. I've been doing this for 20 plus years. My value is going up and you want me to trade for something? These are things that are very subtle insults to an artist. And it's something that can really bring you down, and you can kind of obsess about it. And it can, at very least, just bring your energy down. It can make you bitter. And that's one thing that I think protecting your energy is all about, or protecting your energy is all about in the art world, is becoming an artist who grows older and gets better and is not bitter and not, jaded with the art world. Because I see so many artists as they get older, and, even artists in documentaries and in biographies and in movies and stuff, that just end up being so sucked dry and just like they can't do it. They just can't. They have so much resentment and bitterness towards other artists or towards institutions or whatever. This person fucked me over this way. This person didn't give me this. I didn't get my due with this. This person never paid me, blah, 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 going on down the line. And this can happen. So something that's always been very important to me as an artist is to be able to kind of retain that gratitude and that moxie and that high energy level as you get older and as you get better, and have it be like, you know what? This is not going to get me down. Like, I'm above all this stuff. Like, I can rise above all this low energy behavior and have it just fall off my back. Like, water off a duck's back. I can just shake it off, flap the wings and keep on flying. That's something that's always been very important to me. I'll admit I've had some times, especially recently with the chronic pain and the pandemic and some things that have happened with me. It's been hard. Like, there's been some times where it has gotten me and I didn't do my best at protecting my energy, but that happens to us all. And you can use those as learning experiences to be like, okay, there's an example of where it happened to me. And it's a learning experience of how I can be more vigilant moving forward and how I can put some systems in place that will help me protect my energy, or energy. And so you might be asking, what are some of those systems that you can put in place? Well, there is no one size fits all perfect bulletproof system. None of us are bulletproof, not even the best of the best or the top of the top. The chip top of the line. Not even those people are bulletproof, but they have gotten so much better at dealing with this stuff. Some of it is just having it being thrown at you and just learning how to keep moving forward. Some of it's that. But if you aren't careful, it can little by little eat away at you. So the first thing I would recommend is surrounding yourself with very positive people. And I don't mean positive like, oh my God, everything's wonderful all the time. That's not what I mean. I'm not talking about false, fake positivity. I'm talking about people who nurture you, who fill you with good energy, people who have your back, people who believe in you. That's what I'm talking about. Those are essential. Now, this could be one person. This could be 5 people. Some people luck out and have a family that's extremely supportive. Some people luck out and have friends that are very supportive. But sometimes in the art world, and if you're surrounded by other artist friends, every once in a while, you can find yourself in a group that might not be supporting you the best that they could. And a lot of times it's just because they're focused on their own lives, and that's fine. But you have to be vigilant in finding people. And this could just be one person, like I said, or this could be no people. And in that case, you have to surround yourself with people who inspire you, meaning you can listen to David Bowie, or you can listen to Billie Eilish, or you can listen to podcasts. You can find self-help gurus. You can find these people who really fill you. Like, I listen to kind of a hodgepodge of like Tim Ferriss and, Pete Holmes for laughs, And I read all these self-help books, and I have listened to law of attraction books, and I've listened to this kind of audiobook, and all those things really feed me. So when I'm in a state where I might be alone and I might not be surrounded with people who can help build me up, I find those people. I seek them out. I seek out sources or alternative sources that will kind of fill that gap for me and help me find that within my own self. Now, our art is obviously the best resource that we have. Just getting out there and getting into the studio and creating, that is the best positive reinforcement. And that's the best way to protect your energy. But you don't always have that. You can't always do that every moment of every day. So you have to find ways of feeding yourself in positive ways when you're not just creating. Some very quick examples of that are always go-tos for me are music. Music is huge. Putting on this music that really pumps me up and gets me into the right state of mind. Sometimes this can also be feeding a kind of aggressive positivity, something that makes me feel like getting in the studio and kicking ass. That's great. It doesn't have to be like, don't worry, I'll be happy now. It doesn't have to be that kind of stuff. It can be that if that's your jam, but it can also be some like 9 Inch Nails or something, or whatever. Like I said, Billie Eilish. These things can pump you up in a positive way. Meditation's huge. Of course, I've talked about this many times on the podcast. So have many of my guests. Get into meditation. There's plenty of resources out there for you. There's a Calm app. Even the Curable app has great meditations. There is Headspace. So many, I can't remember off the top of my head, but just do a search. You can do your own little hodgepodge meditation like I do, breathing exercises and interval breathing. You can do the Wim Hof method, which really oxygenates your system and gets your energy up. These are all great sources. Intense exercise is a go-to for me every morning. That's how I start my day. I get my heart pumping, I get my blood flowing, I get the oxygen in my system, and that just starts off my day positively. Look, you can turn to caffeine, that's fine. Whatever works, right? Whatever gets you into that state, just don't go overboard with these things. If you're looking for a calm version of this, something that feels more centered, something that's going to get your energy up, but get your energy almost like a connectivity to your environment or the universe, then go do forest bathing, go do some hiking, go to the beach, get out in the woods, get out in the mountains, get out wherever you can. Take a road trip. I talk about this all the time, but sometimes just clearing your head for 3 days or 4 days or 2 days or 1 day or an afternoon will make all the difference. These are all good ways of protecting your energy. And I know I didn't hit them all, but I don't want to bore you by going too far and belaboring this point. I think you get the idea. I know there's plenty more out there. Watching funny movies is great. That's one that I love. I watched Wedding Crashers again with my wife the other night because we love it. And it's just one of those things where maybe it's not your favorite movie all the time, but it's something that always puts me in a good mood. Always makes me laugh. Always gets my energy up. And these are all great examples. So hopefully this has resonated with you on some level. If you're finding yourself in a funk, if you're finding yourself like, man, I'm just not feeling it as much these days and my energy level is not up. I'm just not feeling like getting in the studio as much. I'm dreading getting on social media. If these things are happening to you, maybe it's because you haven't been doing the best job of protecting your energy. So that's that for today. And hopefully it's something that can spark some ideas for you to find better ways to keep yourself in a positive energy, a good flow state. Please reach out to me on social media. As always, hope you have a great rest of your day, week, morning, midnight, whatever the hell time it is for you. Hope you're doing well and hope this has given you a little bit of a positive kick to get through the rest of your day. We will see you next time. I've got a really good interview coming up with another great marketplace. So tune in for that. And until next time, be good to each other and remember to protect your energy. This has been the Living Artist Podcast. Thank you so much for listening. I just want you to know that I appreciate you being here, and I'm grateful to be in your ears. Your art and creative life on this planet is meaningful, so thank you for sharing it with me. If you like this podcast, whatever platform you're listening to it on, please subscribe and share it with your friends. You can also leave me a positive review to show your support. This helps me to reach more people with the algorithmic magic and keep the show going strong. If you want to see more of what I do and check out the art that I create, you can visit my website at www.pmsartwork.com or follow me on social media everywhere at PMS Artwork. That's it for now. See you back here next time.